The Dendro arc on Nahida is finally going to be released as a playable character next Wednesday, and I'm sure a lot of people, including me, are very excited for her arrival. I know that leaks are everywhere right now, but still, I'd like to make a video dedicated to how I think she should be built, and just basically go through her kit in simple terms so that you know what you should be expecting when you pull for her. Alright, without wasting any more time, let's get started with her kit. Nahida is a 5-star Dendro Catalyst user whose kit is actually quite interesting, as the kit allows her to be a great on-field DPS while also being a very good off-field support. Her normal attack is infused with Dendro as she is a Catalyst user, and it performs up to 4 attacks as shown on screen right now. Moving on to her E, it deals AoE Dendro damage to up to 8 enemies and you can either tap it or hold it. When you hold it, Nahida will enter an aiming mode in which Nahida's resistance to interruption is increased, and enemies that are hit are linked to each other by a mark, and every time an elemental reaction is triggered on an enemy that's marked, or when they take damage from a Dendro core produced from a brewing reaction, another instance of Dendro damage, which is called Tri-Karma Purification, is dealt to all connected enemies, and this attack scales off of Nahida's attack and EM. One interesting thing to note is that when she unlocks her first Ascension talent, Nahida will be able to collect most of the harvestable items in game, and there's also a second cool little gimmick to it when using it on NPCs. As for her burst, a gigantic shrine-like field is deployed and your on-field character gets buffed depending on their element. The elements that can trigger this effect are Pyro, Hydro, and Electro. The respective buffs are as shown on screen right now, and the buff gets even stronger if there's 2 party members of the same element I just mentioned. At the moment, I'm not sure whether you can technically have all 3 types of buffs on the same character if you have Pyro, Hydro, and Electro in your party. I'll test it out when Nahida comes out, but if any of you know whether my speculation is true or not, please let me know in the comment section down below. Her second Ascension talent increases the EM of the on-field character within Nahida's burst by a certain percentage of the EM of the character with the most EM in the party. And finally, Nahida's third Ascension talent grants herself some crit rate and crit damage based on every point of EM beyond 200 she has to the Tri-Karma Purification, which essentially means bigger numbers of damage. I'll put her Ascension talent materials on screen right now in case if you're still unsure of what materials you should be farming for her. If you find her lotuses a bit hard to find, you can always go to her lab and use the interactive map to help yourself locate them. As of recording this video, the weekly boss material for Nahida is still unknown, but I speculate that it is most likely going to be a drop from the new Scaramouche boss, and so I'm sorry, we're going to have to wait until the release of 3.2 before knowing what it is. Now that I've gone over her kit in general, you should have a general idea of how Nahida should be played. For her team comps, you can either focus on making her the main DPS or support. If you want to make her shine the most, then playing her in a quicken and spread comp will be the best. Some interesting electro characters that you can play with Nahida are Beidou, Raiden Shogun, Fischl, Keqing, and Yaemiko, whose rerun banner is also coming in the second phase of 3.2. As Nahida is such a versatile character when paired with Pyro, Hydro, or Electro characters, she will also work extremely well in a Nilou team, as she can provide practically seamless Dendro application for Nilou's bountiful cores to be triggered. In general, her versatility means that you can basically fit her in most of the existing meta team comps right now. Of course, the 2 team comps that I used as examples today aren't all the teams that Nahida can be played in. I will mess around with her teams when she comes out, and so at the moment I can't really say what team she is going to fit in the best. Her artifacts can therefore change depending on the team that she is in, but at the moment I can only really think of 2 sets that Nahida can take full advantage of as a DPS and as a support. Since Nahida would want a set that gives her EM or any bonus related to Dendro damage, the Deepwood Memory set or the Gilded Dream set would be perfect for her. The nice thing about the Deepwood Memory set is that you don't need to equip it on Nahida, as the full piece effect can still be triggered on another character for Nahida to take advantage of. As for the Gilded Dream set, Nahida will gain attack percent or EM, or even both depending on the elements of other party members, and so I would say that this set is more suited towards a DPS Nahida. For substats, it's either going to be full EM or EM on the Sands, Dendro damage on the Goblet, and crit rate or crit damage on the Circlet depending on what your Nahida needs more of. For weapons, her signature weapon, 1000 Floating Dreams, is of course her best in slot, but in reality the 4-star options available right now are still viable and one weapon is even free to play obtainable. The 4-star weapons that I would recommend are the Sacrificial Fragments, the Witsith, Solar Pearl, Mapamare, which is craftable, and the new 4-star Catalyst, the Wandering Star. Each Catalyst has its own upsides and downsides, and so I'll talk about it in more detail in my in-depth guide video when Nahida comes out. And with that, today's video has come to an end. Hopefully you enjoyed this sort of shorter character pre-release videos, and I hope everyone has had an amazing 3.1. I'm going to be pulling for Nahida first thing on Wednesday, and I wish all Nahida wanters good luck. Hopefully all of us will become Nahida havers. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, as it really helps me out, and see you in the next one. Bye!